Pig Heart Boy by Mallory Blackman. Chapter 4 continued. Dr. Bryce's tone was intense. His steely grey eyes focused on me without a single blink. I couldn't help feeling that the doctor was trying to tell me something, but I had no idea what. It was as if something else, some deeper hidden meaning to the doctor's words, which was just out of my grasp. "So, does all this work then?" I said at last. Dr. Bryce leaned forward, eager to explain. "The major problem with exotransplantation," at my blank look he explained, "that's what we call it when you take the organs from one species and transplant them into a body of an animal from another species. Anyway, the major problem is the risk of rejection. Our bodies are very good at recognising anything that isn't a natural part of us, including transplanted organs, and getting rid of it. So we had to think of a way to trick human bodies into believing that transplanted organs from other animals really did belong. Several years ago, we introduced fragments of humans' DNA into some of the pig embryos and implanted them into a sow. When the sow's litter was born, 4 of the 9 piglets had significant changes in their hearts and other organs, giving them key human characteristics." I watched Dr. Bryce carefully. He'd obviously given this speech before. It was word perfect, set in layman's terms, spoken without hesitation. No stumbling, no mumbling, just facts, enthusiastically and confidently told. An informative, precise and detached speech. I wondered what Dr. Bryce felt about me, or anyone else who might be a possible candidate for this pig heart transplant. What was in it for the doctor? The results were very encouraging, so we continued our experiments with a lot more pigs. We're now on our 4th generation of pigs with organs that are more of a match for humans. What we're trying to do is grow pigs whose organs contain human DNA so that when the organs are used in human transplants, they're not rejected. "Why pigs? Why not chimps or monkeys or dogs or cows or cats or something?" I asked. "Now, Cam, I'm sure Dr. Bryce didn't come here so that you could ply him with questions." "I did, actually." Dr. Bryce smiled easily. "Cameron has an absolute right to ask as many questions as he likes. And to be honest, I'd be a bit wary if he didn't." "So why pigs?" I repeated. I knew my tone was terse, but I wasn't in the mood to beat around the bush. "It's a very difficult question to answer. Chimps and other primates would be a much better bet in the exonotransplantation. In fact, they're only about 2% difference in the genetic engineering of humans and chimps. They're closer to humans on the evolutionary scale, but that's also the problem," Dr. Bryce began. I frowned. "I don't get it. If chimps and gorillas and orangutans and that are more like humans than any other creatures, then why use pigs?" I really hoped the doctor wasn't going to talk more medical gobbledygook. I was having hard enough trying to keep up with him as it was. My lab and most research projects involved in some area rely on funding. We only get the funding if we can persuade large organisations or wealthy individuals to part with their money. They won't part with a penny if we use chimps, monkeys or baboons because of the bad publicity. They're too closely related to humans. That's one reason. Plus, some types of primates are actually endangered now, so using them is out of the question. Most people would find it totally unacceptable. But pigs, on the other hand," the doctor smiled dryly, "pigs are not an endangered species. Their organs are very close to humans in size, and as they're already bred for food, we thought it would make sense to use them in our line of research." "And what do they work? I mean, pig hearts transplanted into humans. Do they work? We've never done one before." "We've transplanted pig hearts into a number of chimps and baboons over the years, but no humans." "And what happened to the chimps and baboons?" I asked. "Well, after a while they all died," Dr. Bryce replied without hesitation. "But we've improved our techniques and developed a new anti-rejection medication since then. And last year we transplanted the heart of a pig into a chimp. That chimp is still alive." "So you want to use my son as a human guinea pig, is that it?" Mum's voice cracked like a whip. And there was that word. Suddenly, everywhere I turned, there was that word. Pig. "Not at all, Mrs. Kelsey," Dr. Bryce insisted. "I wouldn't be here if I wasn't confident that the procedure stood every chance of success." "How can you be sure?" Mum persisted. "It's not guaranteed," Dr. Bryce replied. "I can't say I'm 100% certain of success." "But you can't say that about anything, can you?" Dad interjected. He gave Mum a warning look, her lips pursed in angry mutancy for a moment, but she didn't say anything any more. I'm hoping that this transplant procedure will become the norm, as common as having your wisdom teeth removed. But to begin with, we have to move very slowly and carefully. If we rush into it now, we can set people up against us rather than for us. Dr. Bryce, how many people do you have in mind for the first operation? I've narrowed it down to 2 likely candidates. I'm considering you and a woman in her 20s. Why are you considering the woman? She's strong. She's an artist who has a husband and a son. She's got a lot to live for. And why are you considering me? You're young and strong, and I feel that you derive enormous benefit from the transplant if we were to go ahead. You have your whole life ahead of you if we succeed. And as I don't have much longer to live anyway, neither you nor I have anything to lose, I supplied. Cam! Mum and Dad spoke in unison. For once they were in complete accord. Cam, don't say that. Cam, that's not true. Mum and Dad fell over themselves to deny my words. I wish that for once, just once, someone somewhere would tell me the truth, I protested. I know the truth already, don't you understand that? I'd just like to hear it from someone else for a change. My words echoed in the stunned silence of the room. First the tears, now the outburst. Where was all this coming from? You're right, of course, Cameron. Dr. Bryce was the first to speak. The transplant does carry its own risks. Every operation does. But it's a question of carefully weighing up the advantages and disadvantages and seeing which side comes out ahead. And in my case, I asked. In your case, you have everything to gain, and the only thing I stand to lose is my life, I said quietly. But I promise you I'll do my very best to make sure that doesn't happen. And as you said earlier, you can't guarantee it. No, Dr. Bryce agreed after a short pause. Cam, I really think... No, Dad, I interrupted. It's my body, my heart, so I have the right to ask questions and say how I feel. What's got into you today? Dad asked, bewildered. I was wondering that myself, Mum added. I realised something today, I said. I'm running out of time. Every breath I take is countdown, so I haven't got time to pretend to feel happy when I'm not. I haven't got time to feel quiet when all I want to do is shout at the top of my lungs. I haven't got the time for any more lies. My God, Mum breathed the words, stunned. Cameron, we don't lie to you. We never have, Dad agreed. You don't tell me the whole truth, though. You leave things out. It adds up to the same thing. I knew my mum was hurt and upset. So was Dad, but I was too tired to search for the right words, to water down my feelings. Do you have any more questions for me, Cameron? Any more questions? Just 1,000,000,001. That was all. Are you going to operate on this woman or me? I asked. That's what I'm here to assess, said Dr. Bryce. I need to know how you feel about the possibility of undergoing a heart transplant. I started with surprise. Was Dr. Bryce really considering me after all those questions and snapping at the bad atmosphere so evident in the room? It would appear so. It's entirely up to you, Cameron. Your parents can sign the consent form, but it's your decision. This was it. The moment that I'd been anticipating and dreading. But as my nan had said, it was time to tinkle or get off the booty. While Cameron's thinking about it, what about you two, Mr. and Mrs. Kelsey? What do you feel about it? I have every confidence in you, Doctor, Dad gushed. I want whatever Cameron wants, Mum replied quietly, and although Mum's answer was very diplomatic, it was still crystal clear how she felt. I just feel that it's Pandora's box you're trying to open here, and I wonder if you've really thought about the implications of what you're about to do. At my blank look, Mum explained. Pandora was given a box and told not to open it, but curiosity got the better of her, and she did. The box contained all the evils of the world, like spite and hatred and intolerance. But remember, it also contained hope, said Dr. Bryce. But that's what I think our research team will give the world with our new methods. Hope. How many genetically engineered pigs have you got altogether? I asked. We have 100, but about 20 are suitable for human organ donation. Do you know which pig you'd use for the transplant? Dr. Bryce nodded. We have 2 pigs who are particularly suitable. Their names are Paul and Trudy. But I think we'd use Trudy. She's very special. I think she's our best bet. And once the transplant is a success, there'd be nothing to stop us doing any more. But Cameron, you have to decide whether or not you want to be the first one to undergo the operation. First. I'd rather be second or third or fourth, but that way any mistakes they made in the first operation could be put right for the next ones. But I didn't have time left. to slip down further down the queue. It was go first or not at all. I think yes. I would like to be considered for the transplant, I decided. I'll just go and make some tea. Mum left the room abruptly. I looked at my dad, who looked down at the carpet. Dr. Bryce, I'd like the transplant very much, I said. It's quite simply, really. I want to live.